So here we are in Blender. This is the piece that I already cracked, and this is the rest of it. Now the J-beam that is transporting each piece is going to be like perfect slices of cake. They will be as close to perfect lined up as possible, so there is no erratic behavior. I have found that when you try to instead use pieces that are already broke as the J-beam, also along as in addition to being the model, they're also the J-beam. When I tried to do it that way, like this, they seem to fight and compete for space. Like they'll start pushing each other apart just because. I don't know, maybe because like the cuts aren't exactly straight up and down or whatnot, but they don't like that very much. So it's easier for me to just make perfect little chunks that are even and assigning this to uh, this basically. So where this goes, this will go. So it's important each piece, you know. So I'm not really sure how the next piece is going to work when the next piece breaks. This shouldn't affect it at all. Only when the piece that's over here, uh, well, it's already broke, but you know what I mean. When the piece over here moves, then whatever I decide to break from this remaining piece will go with this, which I didn't realize. Damn, I probably should have cut more out of that. Or I can just make this big section break off with the piece that's over here. That's what I could do. So here anyway. So what I did earlier is I cut this, but you know, as you can see, it leaves a hollow hole. I'm going to remove this for now. I'm just going to fix this so that it is looking right. We don't want any holes. So I just pick these edges like here in edit mode and hit F to fill it, the polygon. Then I'll unwrap the UVs for each one. I'll pick the face, unwrap the UVs, and they line up close enough. I'm not worrying about getting like maybe that's scaled smaller than that, but I ain't. I mean, I guess I could go into here and it's just time consuming. Is all you can imagine. It takes a long time to keep going, and there's going to be a lot of little cuts, and you'll be in there a long time. And unless somebody's really paying attention, I wouldn't really worry about it. You know, so we're gonna go into edit mode now that we got this. We're gonna cut this to break with this piece. So I probably with this piece over here, I may just break a section like that. You know, kind of going across. Let me open. Let me see where we got here. I don't know what I'll do. This piece here will break like this. So we'll go into edit mode. Let me take one last look. Okay. So I'll use a knife and I'll say, show me the vertexes. I think this is just to be a clean cut right on across. And hit enter. Now if you were to have made any other cuts, then you would need to go into turn on like your x-ray mode. So like if I had made another cut where it like turned the corner basically, I would have had to pick the vertex like this and then hold shift, pick the other vertex and hit F to create a beam in between, or a edge. They call it like edge and Blender, beam, and it's a J beam, and these are nodes or vertices in Blender, and these will make up the triangles. So now this piece, alright, so this piece now has a new name since it was, no, not yet, it don't. Hold on a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to select these faces for this one, because I have to tell this to be a new object, basically. I go inside of this one. I don't see a little dot. I sure don't. See if it'll let me pick the face. Even though I won't see it picking it, I'll hold shift and left click. If not, we can fix it. I ain't worry about it. Alright. Mesh separate by selection. Alright, so which one's the new one? That's that one. So this one I'll just change this to top DD. That's the one that's hidden. That's the remaining chunk. This one that I just made, well, I gotta make this dot. Oh, it didn't select that face because there ain't a damn face there. I'm not on my A game today, or my B or C or D game. I'm kind of slipping today. Alright, back to object mode so that we can select this new piece. And see, I tried to make it so like the chunk that it's breaking with is B, the top piece is BB. Same thing over there. The J-beam is C, and the piece that's breaking with it is CC. That way you can keep up with what's what. Unlike this organized stuff here, well actually this was all organized. All these pieces had their own their own, to show you when I load the J-beam. So this has already been exported. I just haven't exported the mesh that goes with it. So that'll be this mesh that I gotta finish here. So like the other piece, we'll select it, go to edit mode. We'll pick this face, that face, hit F, and then pick the UV. Well, the UVs that's already selected. Unwrap, and I'll scale that a little more. Just like that. That's a little better. But I'm gonna have to redo this texture anyway. Look at that. That's pretty low ass resolution right there. I got this texture from I forgot what game it was. I just used a screenshot edit, or the photo mode, and I should have took like an 8K screenshot instead of a 4K. But we can fix it later. And in fact, I don't have to even worry about the sides of these if I don't want to. But I will probably make these like a dark cement, like cement looks like when it's broke on the sides. So I'm probably doing a lot of this. I have to redo it anyway, but it's alright. So now this needs to be exported. Now since this top piece, this entire top piece here, it was already set to the origin of the 3D cursor, I don't have to keep resetting it every time, because it's just whatever I break, its origin's still going to be set there, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I'm not ready to export this yet because I haven't assigned it to any J-beam, so I'm going to temporarily hide it. Only things I'm exporting now as a DAE is the parts that are finished model parts that already have assigned J-beams to them. And we don't want to export this as a DAE because that's not part of the mesh. So pretty much everything you see here gets exported. And you have to do this each time. I mean, you could just do all this in one motion. But then it really sucks if something messed up and you don't know which one it was, and you got to go back, and it's like, oh man, it's easier just test it as you go. That way you don't have to end up redoing a lot of stuff. It just takes time to do it this way. That's the only thing. So this all gets exported as the new DAE, which will overwrite the old one with selection only, because we don't want the other stuff to go. Yes. Now I just have to go to the J-beam So this is the bridge. So that top piece, the very first piece you saw break was C. This one, B. Let's see, is, and I decided to change the name of the group, so it's I get confused with all these different names. All right, now what's the mesh called? The mesh is called top BB. That's what it's asking for here, but you don't actually see what it's asking for here. It's at the top because this is a long list of all flex bodies. I see it's asking for the mesh and it's asking for a group. This isn't used anymore. This is the old depreciated thing. So just mesh and groups all it's asking for, and that's where you put the name of the mesh from Blender, and the group you decide what you want to call it. You can call it hot tomato if you want to. It don't matter. So whatever you want to call it. The only thing that does matter is the name of the mesh. That's what it wants to know, because it has to know the name of the mesh, and you need to tell that mesh what group to be, so that it knows what nodes, beams, and triangles to assign to it, or they gonna know. And basically, you can't have a mod without a mesh, or you'll have an invisible mod without anything to look at. Let's see. Let's go. Let's save the file. Let's reload the game. I thought I had it loaded. I think I decided to stop for a while, and I said, you know what, let me just make one more piece. As I recorded the first one I was doing, and I wasn't talking in it. I just wanted to kind of make sure it worked like I was planning. And yeah, it worked. So here, I'm recording this one now. Right. Load it on up. Load it on up. So we got two pieces now. Now, yes, there is a little separation, and I will address this. In fact, I'll do this right now. I'm going to hit Control N to see my node names, and I'm going to get up close. Now, that's looking at the mesh. The actual box of the beams, the J-beams, are here. Let's look over. Let's turn this way. So this is where this is separating. As you can see where this is separating, of course the mesh is going to separate. So this is top CR13, and that's top BR17. Now the easiest way I found to do this is just kind of move this over to here. And if you got your Windows 11, you can easily just move stuff like that. It's easy to move. Well, I ain't gonna say it's easy. It takes a little getting used to. So what we'll do, let's close this here. Give us a little more room. We'll come down to where the beams are, and we're gonna make a new beam. We'll go down here to the bottom. And I'll put a little note. Anything with a bracket and a bracket means it's just a note. You put whatever you want. The game ignores it. I'm just going to put top road to top road. And I'll know that these are just the connectors, just connecting them to each other so that they better stay in place. Now I'll just copy this to my clipboard and paste it, so I'll retype all of that. And the first one will be top capital C lowercase r 13, and this one is top BR17. with a capital B. It's about impossible to read that. I wish they'd make it where you can make those larger, the letters a little larger. Alright, now I want to give them different properties that hold them together, because the rest of the beams use, they're all basically following this here. So what I'm going to do is make this one, I'm going to copy it and paste it, so anything that's under this will follow it. Basically whatever's under something, more or less follows what's above it, when you're talking about like the beams and stuff. Put another couple spaces so it's easier to find it. Alright, basically deform, it will not deform, and I don't want the triangles to actually break, so that's not. Oh, wait a minute, yes I do. This won't be this will be, not the triangles, the beams. I do want these to be able to break, because you don't want them to be constantly snagged, hooked together at all times, so I'm going to give this something, we'll try like 50,000. I believe that's like measured in like newtons. Pre-compression is, think of a rubber band and you're just holding it in your hand. You're not pulling on it. You're not relaxing it. It's just, there. Now say you pull on it and you're pulling it tighter so that it's got more tension. One would be you ain't doing nothing to it. Anything below 1, like 0.99, would be you're starting to pull it tighter. Anything above 1 is you're giving it more slack. Well, you can think of a rope releasing more slack to give it more slack, and that way. But you can't really pull a rope any tighter. It doesn't, like, you know what I mean? So that's why I use the rubber band as a comparison, and a rope. Now, it don't take much beam compression. If the beam compression exceeds, if it creates enough force by just that's going to exceed the strength, it's just going to snap. Now the beam spring is how easily the beam can bend. Beam deform is what forces does the beam stay permanently deformed, which in this case we don't want it to permanently deform, even if because it's a hidden beam, it's not something that's going to bend anyway. It's just there as like a hidden piece of glue, more or less. So that's that. Now we're going to do the ones over on the other side, if they're any near one another. The way I made these, there's actually 3 points that make connection. Like I took a box and I made a plus sign in the middle. So that made 1, 2, 3, not counting the bottom, points that can connect. So this is top CR7. And this one is top BR11. It don't matter if you put one before the other. That don't make a difference. And it don't matter in what order they are on this thing either. You can have, that don't matter. Now we go to the end of this thing. I probably need to put some on the bottom too, but we'll see. Alright, that's top CR1. And the other one is top BR5. I hate that sound. Alright, now what's at the bottom? The bottom. That's top CR0. I'll just make a couple copies. CR0 and BR4. And let's go down to the next one there. That's CR6, BR10. I got 2 more. Or 1 more. Top CR12, BR16. Now there's also another thing that I learned since the first time I tried to make this bridge, or when I stopped working on it actually. I didn't know about wind resistance, and I always wondered why these big pieces that were heavy would fall to the ground so slow. So what I learned since I've messed with other things, I learned about the drag coefficient. You can decrease this number if you want less wind resistance and things to fall more naturally, or more if you want it to have more wind resistance and fall like a feather. So now we'll save this. We'll go back to the game. We'll hit Control R to reload with those changes, and then hit the home button. And it's paused. Hold on. Control R, home, and let's look. Let's get rid of these so this is not so distracting. Oh, I'm tabbed to the damn truck down there, no wonder. Alright, so this is showing beam stress, which if you look, it's oscillating a damn lot. That's probably that pre-compression. Oh, those broke right away. Apparently. I ain't connected now. Alright, let's make that damn stronger. We can try it without the pre-compression. We could just do that first. Maybe it'll be fine without it. Damn, that's much better. It is oscillating though. But hell, the whole thing is. That comes down to your know-how of, I guess, physics, knowing how much damping to put on something to go with what its weight is and its beam spring and all that stuff. See how we can pick this up now, how they're kind of joined, but at a certain amount of force it should snap and break, which the car is going over it. Which, why don't we get a car over here and see, let us spawn something heavy. We may not even need nothing heavy. Let's just try this and see. We'll just put it on the top and drive on it for a minute. Yeah, this would work too for like a ice lake that you want to break the ice on. Back when I tried to make a sheet of ice that would break, I did not do this technique, and I had a hell of a time trying to keep the pieces from looking like they were fighting over space. Like, this seems to work really well. So it should be much better this time. Now you could crack this thing in lots of fragments if you really wanted to make lots of different J-beams, like instead of just like 6 squares per section, you have like 20 squares and have all these things breaking in all different little smalls. That take a long damn time. Now you can do a fracture in Blender to fracture something really fast into hundreds of little pieces, but then you gotta have a J-beam for all those little pieces, and then you gotta, yeah, that shit's a lot of work. I would do all that. Why is it when I'm making one of these videos, that damn gas never works on the keyboard? I gotta hook the damn controller up and hit the damn gas pedal. I don't know why. I don't play with a keyboard and mouse. I don't should know what the key is for. I'm saying it's an automatic. Why isn't it already in drive? That's what I was wondering. What kind of bullshit is this? Oh, I'm inside. Oh shit! I just damn realized something, folks. I just realized an error I made. Well, it won't take me long to fix it. I just shit. How did I not realize? How did I not see this? The damn thing's gonna sit on top of the J beam, not the actual mesh. I was actually stuck in the damn thing. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Alright, so I can fix that. That ain't no problem. I can make it a quick adjustment to that. Because, yeah, it's going to sit actually on the damn. What the shit, man? This mother. I tell you, man. I tell you what. It's, what the hell? I'll tell you what I do. I close it and reload it before I get angry with it. Um, yeah, let me make that adjustment in Blender. And, hey, I don't know why I was thinking, or what I was thinking. I guess I'll scale all the pieces at one time. So now for this, I'll just temporarily set the origin to their geometries and make it a little easier to instead of, because it's a pain in the ass to get things right when they're set to that 3D cursor down there. So this is much closer. What I'll do now is reset their origin to the 3D cursor, which is down there. Apply all transforms. And just like earlier, we'll hide these and then export the rest. You'll update the mesh so it'll be more aligned with the J-beam. Export Kaleido. Alright, we shouldn't have any issues now. And all in the days to come, I will try to artistically crack the top of the road to look more natural, like a broken road when it breaks. The first one I made looked like it had a bunch of bed mattresses all on the top that were just all falling at the same time. It looked fake, really fake. Alright, see now that mesh is updated. Now, on the scale of J-beam, that's a lot more work. It's not as easy as just scaling a mesh, just so you know. People ask me a lot of time about scaling cars. It's not that easy because you got to consider everything, the skeletons that make everything up. If you're not scaling those too, which are basically the nodes for the object, like one of these bars, for example, these scaling these, all these numbers are going to change, which you can scale it in Blender and just re-export it. But every time you, like, this ain't so bad, but when you got all like hundreds of parts to a car and you're trying to scale all them parts and scale them so that they're not scaled too much and interfering with the J-beam that's next to it, that's a lot of damn work, man. I sure as shit wouldn't want to do it. Uh, I'd scale like just the shell of the car, like if it's just like an outside body, like one of them Disney cars, you know. But to scale it correctly, you'd have to scale the J-beam too. And as far as I know, and a couple other people, you can't do that, not easily. Uh, I guess everybody keeps asking me about it. I guess nobody else is offering up an explanation. Um, but if I figure out something easy, I sure will pass it on. What the hell's I doing? Oh yeah, bring another vehicle in here. I don't know. I'm not picky. Just anything. Oh, I always try to make videos if I figure out some way to make life easier. That's one of the reasons why I started making these videos, to explain easier ways to do things, or just ways to do them in general. There wasn't that many tutorials, and there damn sure wasn't many for modding. It was maybe 2 or 3 that I found. Only one was useful that I found. Useful to me. That's Morse BNG, MORZ BNG, I believe. Morse Bing, this guy that does these car modding videos that are very helpful. Why is the car not going? Oh, it's paused. Yeah, that'll need to be sorted out right there. That's pretty cool. That was kind of cool. Yeah, that was pretty interesting there. You know, it would be easy to make like a seesaw where like one part's down and there's like a thing in the middle, so that, say there's a high ledge up here and you got like a piece of wood on a big old rock. You drive up the wood, but if you start as you start going over to the other side, it starts to go down. You have to go fast enough to get to the ledge before it, you know. That'd be pretty cool. I'll do what I did in the earlier video that I actually, you know what? I'll set this damn thing at. Where's the other one at? The one with the wings. I like that one. I still haven't finished this either, by the way. I'm still working on it. Got to get it right. I mean, it's functional. It just isn't functional good enough to fly without a lot of damn effort. It takes quite a bit of effort. And always remember, if you're in pause mode in the world editor and you're moving things while it's paused, this will be where it resets at when you hit like Shift R to reset all, um, or just R to reset. This thing gonna this destruction will come in waves. In waves. uh, yeah, I should make more crash videos. I just ain't, and y'all got patience for that stuff. I don't have patience for it. I get easily bored, especially when the AI does not do like it's supposed to. Or I'll get all the work to set everything up and the game crashes. Actually, you're gonna be way up there, my friend. Maybe have a couple of these different ways when they hit. You know, a little variety. A couple more. Way up there. It'll be like the last one. Damn, I don't even see it. I think there's another one up there somewhere. Damn, I don't even see the ground. Oh, he went through the ground. He's below the ground. No wonder. We've been waiting all day for that one. Well, earlier, I wanted to like hit here, and it catapulted those that were there. I probably won't be able to recreate exactly what I did. Wow, it may not even get close. It was pretty cool though. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna. It wasn't gonna do it again. Couldn't repeat that. Yeah, I will post this bird when I get it flying a little better. And it's not flying worth a shit right now. I still got. See, a real bird when it flaps its wings, it like when it's going on the upswing, the wings fold inwardly so that it. I mean, not like this, but they hinge kind of when they fold so that it. I think they hinge, don't they? Maybe I'm thinking of a damn bat. Uh, but they go up at an angle so there's less wind resistance than when they go down. I mean, it almost flies. Flies a little better when you give it a thruster. If you can not run into everything. Yeah. See, this wants to turn to the right though. I'm just steering left and right with the controller. Needs a tail also. I forgot to say that. I was going to add a tail, but I haven't yet. See, no matter what you do, it wants to go to the right. So something needs to be adjusted. You definitely would not want to fly Air Terry Martin. If I make an airplane, you wouldn't want to fly in it. Probably a one-way trip straight to the ground. If it even gets in the air. I guess what I'll do, I'll zip this thing up in its form that's in now. Like I said, every time I update this thing, I'm going to, I'll get the bird finished soon enough, but every time I update this bridge with new little parts and stuff, I'll update it. But it's going to change. Just know that over time it's going to change. There's going to be more things. And I'm going to redo all these textures or enhance them. They're just basic. I mean, they're very, very basic. Very basic. In fact, I made this bridge from just a damn picture I took going down the highway. I just looked at the photo and thought, oh, okay, well, maybe if I did this, that. Yeah, maybe this will work. So I'll show you the image. Of course, it'd been better with a higher quality camera. I think I took this with an iPhone. No, this was a picture I found on the internet. But if you were out there actually standing there, not in the highway, but and you took some high definition photos, you'd have some pretty good textures. But you can see how the design went into making, where I didn't have a lot to go on. So I did find like some other cement pictures on the internet to use in between in different places, but yeah, I could do much better than just using a picture. So those will be improved too. So I'll zip this thing as it is now, and yeah, that's the original photograph. So I mean, you get up real close, it ain't very detailed. Turn that shit off. You see, basically that's as good as it can get, because that's as good as the picture gets. Can't really, if your source image isn't better than you can only do what you can do with what you got. But I do like the fact that it's kind of like baked shadows on there. They're not real shadows. This looked really good rendered in Blender. Not this version, the other version I had made looks a lot better. But anyway, that's it for this. I'll zip this, like I said, 5 times already, and I'll give you the link. And as I make more of this, I'll record it. I think the future things I do, I'm going to just play them back and fast forward. Who the hell wants to sit and watch this long ass video, these long videos? I sure as hell wouldn't. So I'll do the rest of them in fast forward. Unless somebody wants them in normal speed, let me know.